those correctly. That's a first sort of basic thing. Now let's go to some other things that are maybe a little bit more interesting. One of the most common kinds of things would be where you've got someone who has schedules pending activities, whether they are calls, if you're the kind of company that when you add a prospect to the database, you also schedule a call for a particular salesperson to go after them, or you even have a situation where you set up kind of, could be round-robin calling between sales reps to call a body of prospects. If that's your way of assigning work, an easy way to tell whether that work is actually getting done would be to run a pending report and just see who's got assigned activities that have not actually been followed up on. Now, if you've got a ton, if you're the kind of organization that has 50 users and 40 of those users are sales reps, each one of them has 200 pending calls for the coming week. I didn't do the math on that, but I think we're talking about 8,000 or so pending calls, and you're sort of churning through a lot of stuff there. You might want to simplify the pending report to only show you not every pending activity, as this one would do for you, but you could specify, of course, just calls. So this, of course, would give you pending calls. If I hit finish, that would just sort of generate all pending calls. I could see what's out there to be done as well as what's past due. Or you could go right to the template that shows you only pending activity that's past due. So if I pop over here to the templates, remember, of course, in version 6, when you've got a selection over on the left-hand side and you go to the templates, your selections over here already narrow down what you're seeing over here. So only templates that relate to pending activity are going to show up in this list. And it happens that one of our templates here is the past due pending activity. That would give me actually a similar report to my main pending. Why don't I go ahead and just generate that one? As it happens in this demo database, everything that's pending is past due because it's just older stuff. So this shows me all of our past due activity, and if I wanted to see that, of course, broken out by which users are responsible for that stuff, and then, of course, I can slice and dice. The calls might be the most, or sales might be the most important ones for me to follow up on, but bear in mind, presumably everything that I'm doing is related to sales in one way or another, so I want to know what other kinds of things I've got out there. By the way, what I might likely do, just to sort of get a grip on this, because there are so many past due calls, might be to rearrange this report a little bit and pull out activity type and just specify call, but have the years and months going down the side. So something like this, do calls, years and months like that. And that would tell me, okay, well, really I had quite a few of them scheduled. Actually, these are all kind of dummy calls that I have in here, but in my demo database. But you can sort of see now how those spread out across time, and that sort of gives you a profile of what is the actual work that I have scheduled for myself that has fallen behind for me. So that would be past due pending activities. Now I'm going to go on actually and talk about no pending activity. Now that's a different way of looking at lost opportunities. In this case, you would probably be interested in the question, what are the customers for which we have no scheduled activity? One of the things the Mastermind allows you to do is have a better grip on process in addition to just data. So let's talk about process. Sometimes the process for your company is, I don't have my sales reps decide on their own whom they're going to call or when they're going to call them. We actually assign those calls. Well, one way of making sure that every prospect has an assigned call or activity associated with it is to run this no pending activity report. Now, you may not have a process exactly like that, but it is a way of determining from the side of management how well are we covering our database. In other words, you have a body of prospects in your database. Maybe not all of those prospects should necessarily have a call scheduled for them, although I would contend that probably they should if you're managing them well. But as far as existing customers, if you want to be doing efficient and full customer service for them, then it probably does make sense for you to have at least a scheduled phone call at some point between somebody in your company and somebody at theirs to touch base and to sort of keep them on as an active customer for you. If there is no pending activity, that's an indication that something's fallen through the cracks. So the no pending activity report, I'll go ahead and run that one. Note, by the way, that there are no fields in the no pending activity report that are in the calendar table.